Welcome to Aging with Purpose and Passion, the podcast designed to inspire your greatness and thrive through life. Get ready to conquer your fears. Here's your host, psychotherapist, coach, and empowerment expert, Beverly Glazer.
Are you ready to get fired up and inspired? If you're a woman over 50, you've been there, done that, and wondering what's next? Well, let me tell you, this podcast is for you. I'm your host, Beverly Glazer, and I'm a therapist and coach, and I've been helping people to reinvent themselves for over 30 years. And I know firsthand how challenging life can be. So, if you've been hit with a wake-up call, and you've been thinking, now what? Or I'm bored, or I'm alone, what's next? Well, you are in for a treat when you hear my next guest. Meet Nan McKay. Nan is a firecracker. She has founded 6 businesses over the last 40 years. And when she retired, she started her current business, which is Nan McKay Connects. And that's not all. Nan's a speaker and an author. And at 80, she still doesn't stop. So grab your coffee, sit back, and get ready to be inspired. Welcome, Nan.
Thank you, Bev. I really appreciate that. I really never have retired as such. I think I just keep refiring.
Oh, I think you are. That firecracker keeps on going off. And when you think about that, Nan, you've created this business empire, and one would think that you went to Harvard Business School. I mean, that is what you would think. Business was what you know. Business is what you've done. But you started as that girl in the office. Tell us about that time.
Actually, I worked for government for 17 years and then started a business when I was 38 out of the basement of my house when women could not even get a credit card in their own name. So I had to figure it all out and say, I can do this and go with it. And that was 1980. The business is still going today, and it has over 2,000 employees today. I'm still president of the board, but my role is somewhat diminished because my son took over as CEO.
That's just so inspiring. But Anne, let me ask you, girls like back then, you already said it, they had no opportunities really. Why? From this girl in a government office, why would you say, I could do this?
I think it really goes back to my mother. We had a tragedy in our life when my father was killed in a car accident when I was 11. She had to find a way to make money and really survival for the rest of us because there were 3 children. So she started a business, and it was a doll shop and hospital. She also had a mannequin business. And I learned how to get out there and figure out what you can do to make money rather than just a job. So way back then I did. But I still worked for housing authorities for 17 years. Pretty much had done everything I could do in a housing authority. I worked for small, medium, large. I was an executive director at the top, starting as a secretary, by the way, in 1963. But ending up in 1980 as executive director. So I decided, there's this new program HUD has, and it's a difficult program to understand. And they're not putting out a lot of guidance because it's a brand new program. So I wrote 2 books on how to do it guide and started speaking on it. And then thought, I might be able to do this for a living. And by golly, I did. And that's the big business that's still going today.
That's fabulous. So listen, Anne, were you encouraged by your mom? Did she say, go for it?
Not really. It was almost the opposite because she felt she was pushed into it and couldn't understand why I would want to work when my husband, could take care of me? Why would you want to get out there and do all this? So she never really understood the motivation that I had, which was really different. It was not born of a have to. It was born of a want to.
Yes. And you love it. I mean, it gets you up in the morning.
Oh my gosh. I love it. I now have this business called Nan McKay Connects, LLC. Mm-hmm. And it is the most exciting thing that I dream of it at night. I jump out of bed in the morning and think, I can do this and I can do that. And I think it just fuels you so that age isn't even a factor. I mean, I don't even think about it because it isn't important. What's important is what more can I do to make the world a different place, to make it easier for women to grow their business. And now my latest thing is I am starting a next gen academy to cultivate, for people to be able to cultivate their top talent for tomorrow, but do it today. So it's leadership train the trainer materials for companies to be able to train their Gen X's and millennials and Gen Zers and bring them forward so that we have the leaders we need today.
That is so terrific. What an amazing idea. And not only that, wow, you were supposed to be retired, right?
Oh, no. Who said that? I didn't get that memo. Who sent me an email? I mean, I get a lot of emails, so maybe it just was in an email that I overlooked. I'm not really sure. The other piece of what I do is I provide resources for women business owners, primarily those that are about 50 and above. Those are the age groups I like to work with, even on to 60 and above, who are saying the same thing. I'm not done yet. I don't want to give up. I want to grow this business even bigger. Mm-hmm. So I program quiz funnels for them. I do a 2-day intensive, and quiz funnels are the #1 lead generator today for your business. So I program the funnel for them. I help them with a 2-day intensive, create the content, and then I build the funnel for them. Another thing I'm doing is I provide business resources. So I have all kinds of worksheets and templates and things to help them start their business and grow their business. And that's my primary focus. I do have a podcast. I do have 2 YouTube channels. I have published a book, Gold in the Golden Years. It's on Amazon. Mm-hmm. But this is my current passion today.
I was going to ask you, Gold in the Golden Years. This provides practical guidance for women who want to start businesses after they retire. What tips can you give?
I think the main thing is think it out, because it's easy to jump into something depending on your personality profile, your behavioral style. For me, I am a jumper. I could easily jump from one side to the other too quickly without doing enough research. So you need to look at what it really takes today. And today is different than it was in 1980 as I'm sitting there, trying to plan things like menus to serve at my seminars and things like that. Today, we've got a digital world. We've got AI, which I am pretty good at and very much into. And we've got AI, which can be used for marketing when you're talking about the small business owner and how you can use it. So that's another big passion I have. But the main thing is, I think it's just important to have the creation of an understanding of digital marketing today, because the person has to know, like, and trust you to buy from you. That's hard today when you're not doing a lot of face-to-face. Most of what you're doing is over Zoom and the internet. So how do you meet people? How do they get to know, like, and trust you? It's not like going into a department store and saying, I want to buy a shirt. You look at the shirts, you may talk to the sales clerk, you may not. You may just pick it up, go to the cashier, and buy it. It doesn't happen online. Not very often. So you've got to figure out, how do I cultivate the people today for my products and services because they know, like, and trust me? How do I do that? And then the second thing is, I really think you have to be very clear on your ideal customer. Who is your avatar? Who are you selling to? You really have to hone that down and be as clear about that as you possibly can. And then you start looking at, so what are their pain points? Why would someone want to buy my product or service? What are the issues that they're dealing with? Because guess what? It's not all about you. It's all about them. And that changes in marketing, because instead of looking at talking about your features, what you're offering, you're talking about the benefits to them, because it's all about them, not all about you.
Oh,
the fourth thing is be able to succinctly describe your business in writing, and then be able to say what it is without having to read it off a piece of paper.
excellent tips. Excellent. And what advice can you give other women who feel that their life is passing them by? Because as I talk to you, Nan, you are just filled with joy, filled with energy, filled with positivity as you speak. What can you give to somebody who says, oh yeah, that's her, not me?
I think the answer is to cultivate your growth mindset. I do an exercise when I speak about what is the difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. Because here's the bottom line. If you think you can't, you can't. Mm-hmm. If you think you're old, you are. So instead of looking at it that way, spin it and say, wow, my life's just beginning. I don't have to take care of people like I used to in the past. I don't have to be that caretaker. You may have to for your parents, that may be true, but I don't have to have the worry about the kids and what they're doing as they progress through the stages. I don't have to challenge with my career. I don't have to constantly be so perfect. I can figure out, wow, I have the world opening up in front of me as my oyster. So curiosity, creativity, let those abound. Open up that ceiling that you may have put on top of you. Open it up and fly. There's no reason you can't.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Nan McKay champions the path to reignite passion and purpose after retirement. Her speech, Life Begins at 60, How to Make It to 100, is inspiring. To learn more, check out her website, nanmckayconnects.com. She has a podcast, YouTube channels, and she's on LinkedIn and all social media. And these links are in the show notes below and on my site too, which is reinventimpossible.com. So what's next for you? Get a snapshot of your life in my free download, the Life Perspective Inventory, to find out. That link is in the show notes as well. And join my positive community on Facebook, Women Over 50 Rock. And thank you for listening. Have you enjoyed this episode? I hope so. Be sure to follow and subscribe for more. And remember, you only have one life, so live it with purpose and passion.
Thank you for joining us. You can connect with Bev on her website, reinventimpossible.com. And while you're there, join our newsletter. Subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Until next time, keep aging with purpose and passion. And celebrate life.